out, and I know that she cares about her team. Okay. Otherwise, she wouldn't go to this length to get me here. And and I'm here to help. But before I go into kind of the bulk of my training, and because I know most of you guys don't know me, if at all, very well. Okay. So I just to give you a little bit of background, I was widowed in 2016. Okay. At that time, I was just doing real estate. Okay. But for 2 years, I wasn't doing much real estate because I was helping my wife fight stage 4 colon cancer. Okay. And, prior to that, we had made all the excuses about life insurance. It's too expensive. We're too young. We're too healthy. We don't need it. You guys have heard this stuff. Okay. Well, that was us too. And I learned the hard way that it's better to have it 10 years too soon than need it 1 minute too late. Okay. And if you ever get those objections, say, hey, let me tell you about my friend Rob. He thought the exact same way, but then he learned the hard way. Okay. It sucked. Okay. I would, if I didn't have 2 kids, I would have gone the next day myself. Okay. But I had to carry on. Okay. And I made it my mission to make sure that nobody went through what I went through. Again, I just didn't know how to get there. Like I said, at the time I was doing real estate, people buy a house, they buy insurance on the building, but do nothing for the people inside. Okay. And then fast forward a couple years, I met Cindy. And in 2019, I had this great day plan. We were going to go to Napa. We were going to do some wine tasting, some photography because Sheila's taking pictures. And then, we would go to my 30th high school reunion. And me, I'm Mr. Romantic. So I had it all planned out. And then she goes, I know you got your reunion, but there's this financial thing in Pleasanton. Can we go to that in the morning and then go to your thing at night? And to be honest, I was pissed. I was mad as mad could be, but being the, supportive fiance that I said, okay. And I acquiesced. And what that event was a upstart school. Okay, kind of like our little business academies that we have in the offices. Okay. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of interesting. And but before that, she goes, I go, yes, we can go. She goes, well, are you going to register? I go, what do you mean register? What are I going to do to register? Oh, you got to pay $100. I don't want to pay $100. What if I don't do that? Oh, they put you in another room. And I'm like, that's sitting at the little kids table on Thanksgiving. I go, so I literally just paid $100 to sit next to my fiance. You know, that's it. I knew at that time I thought I was flushing it down the toilet. You know, so we went, and then 2 weeks later, we had a super Saturday. Now there's about 800 people there in the room, and and the only difference is, at the Pleasanton office, I was the only white guy. And at the Super Saturday, I was one of 2 white guys. Out of 800 people. So now Penny, lovingly refers to me as her Caucasian, in which I reply, I say, hey, I'm Asian too. I'm just a Caucasian. But anyway, I digress. So after that Super Saturday, I got it. The light bulbs went on. 3 weeks later, I'm licensed. I actually beat Cindy to getting licensed. She was 2 weeks after me. And everybody's like, where'd this guy come from? And I did it. But then I did not have good direction, good coaching, and no field training. And so I was trying to figure this thing out because, I didn't want to waste, my time or money. And it took me from May of 2019 to February of 20 to make my first sale. Okay. And it was a struggle, and I was trying to figure it out. And then COVID hits. And so I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do during COVID? Okay, I'm going to get securities license because, I was still doing real estate, but real estate shut down. I couldn't show houses. So I got securities license. And that helped me with a few more introductions and a few things there. And then I started building a little bit more in 21 and, made, and the good news is I've made more each year than the year prior. Okay. And then but I was still not where I needed to be income wise or financially. And one of the things that I felt when my wife died was, man's job is to be a provider and protector. I failed in both of those. Okay. And that's how I felt. And so I was really disgusted. And around October of 2021, I looked in the mirror and I hated the guy looking back at me. I was behind on my goals, I was behind on my dreams, I was behind on everything that went around it. Okay. And I was frustrated because while I was in the business full time, I can't say that I was actually working my business full time. Okay. And so I looked in the mirror and I had a self conversation with myself. And I had to ask myself two questions. One, what does it mean to be full time? Now, for most people, that's 30 to 40 hours a week at least. Okay. If I was working actually 10 hours of actual work, I would have been doing good at that period. Okay. Now, the other thing I had to ask myself, what defines work in this business? This call, this is not working your business. This is education. What do we get paid to do? And it's only three things. You've all heard of EPR, encourage, praise, and recognize. I came up with IPR, invitations to presentations so that we can make recommendations. Okay, those are the only three things that actually make us and generate a paycheck. Okay, now, yes, we have to do the paperwork and all that stuff around it, but those three activities are the only three things that generate income. So I figured that out. Okay, now then I said, what are some ways? Now, and I had done a little dabbling with some social media and I got minimal success, a little bit here or there, but I wasn't doing it consistent. So at the end of 2021, I committed to a 90-day plan. Okay. And that's one good day done 90 days in a row. Okay. Because here's the thing with a 90-day plan, what you do today does not pay you today. Okay. The pay you're generating is based on your activity from 90 days ago. Because, yeah, month one, you're going to get some results. Month two, you're going to get some results from month one and from month two. But by the end of month three, now you've maximized the productivity of your actions. It could be running a newspaper ad, doing social media, face to face, doing whatever it is that you do to build your business. It takes 90 days for you to get the maximum impact of it. So, first thing is to do 90 days. Okay. And now I can honestly say, as of the end of last month, I have done 7 consecutive 90-day plans. Okay. And I got another, and then after this one, I got another, 18 months ahead of me, get to my 3-year point of doing this. Okay. Everybody talks about the 3 years. So get that down. Now, the other formula I knew is massive action produces massive results. The speed of that action determines your speed of success. Okay. Now, you've all been in the trainings and you've all heard about the magic of 100, right? You've all heard it. Okay. So I love the power of 100. Okay. Now, the first thing I know is it is statistically impossible for you to get 100 consecutive no's. If you have honesty and sincerity and kindness of heart in your invitation, somebody's going to mess you up and say yes. Okay, plain and simple. It's just really hard. So go for 100 no's. First step, write that down. Go for 100 no's. Now, here's the thing. You could do 100 no's in a year, 10 a month. Great. You got your 100 no's. But what if you did one a day and do it in 3 months? Okay. Or you could really ramp it up and do 3 invitations a day and get it done in a month. Which is, that's up to you. I don't care. Okay. Your work ethic, some of you have jobs, some of you have other things, kids, whatever, but you determine your speed that you want to go. 100 is still 100. Okay. The other part about that is I knew what I lacked in skill, I can make up in numbers. Okay. So my first goal was to do 100 invitations. Okay. And I did that very quickly. Then my next goal was to do 100 presentations. And I did that within a couple of months. And now my next goal is 100 recruits. Right now, let's see, what, 44 plus 27, that's what, 72, 73, somewhere around there. And, and so I got a little bit more to get to my 100 recruits. After that, my goal will be to get 100 licenses. And then ultimately, after that, I want to get 100 net licenses. And he might be able to know this better than I do, but I figured 100 net licenses has got to get you at least CO, maybe even EVC. If you have that on your team going on, that's a net license is somebody's making $1,000 with the business, not even $1,000 a month, but just hit $1,000 in income. Okay, so now the one problem: how do I do that? How do I find those people? Okay, now when I joined, okay, prior to me doing this, I was in another network marketing company. Then I went into into real estate. And then I found this. So by the time I got here, I'd already done two other things. And so all my friends were like, oh God, here comes Rob again. He's going to try to sell something different. So I was actually in the NFL. No friends left. Now I still approached them. I still invited them. They all said no. And I said, okay, great. Now that I'm done with those losers, I'm going to go try to find some people that actually want to do this thing. Okay. And I had gotten on and I actually spent some money. So I'm saving you guys money right now by teaching you what I learned on how to invite and prospect through LinkedIn and other forms of social media. Okay. So I'm gonna first thing though we got to take a look at is we're gonna do a look, and I'm gonna share my screen if I have permission to do that. Share screen, and okay, so hopefully you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, and I see Miss Evlo here, experienced financial professional. She didn't know I was going to put her on the spot today, so is it okay if I make fun of you, Eve, for teaching purposes?
Absolutely. My linking is bad. Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I want right here. Here we go. Whoops. There. Come on. My computer's moving slow, so apologize.
That's okay. Yep. That's we're seeing something now.
All right, there we are. So I'm going to do full profile. Okay, now here, write this down. LinkedIn can be used in one of two ways. It can be used as a business page or an online resume. Okay. Now, I'm going to send you a connection request, Eve. But so so as I look through here, okay, so I see over 16 years of international financial service. Okay, I'm going to be honest. You got a very good resume here, Eve.
Thank you.
But it is not going to generate any leads whatsoever.
No,
Okay.
I know.
First thing is this area right here. This is wasted real estate right now. Okay. You want to have a nice banner here. Something. Now, if you look at Penny's, she's got one of the best because she's got all her, social media stuff on there. And I'm working on updating mine to look more like Penny's. Okay. She's got a great LinkedIn profile. There's one or two things on it that I would change, but it's mostly a good profile. Okay, second here, experienced financial professional, life coach, and team leader. That's nice. But how does it help me? What is everybody, does anybody know everybody's favorite radio station? It's called WIFM. What's in it for me?
Mhm.
Okay. They don't care about who you are. They only care about how you can help them. Okay. And, so we want to do that. Okay. Now, as I scroll down here, 16 years of international. Okay. Who cares? How does it help me? How's it? And I'm being brutal on Eve, and I love you, Eve. You know that. But who cares? Okay. And and then your laundry list of experience. And I'm gonna be honest, a homemaker is great, but it does nothing for your qualifications to help them. Okay. Um, so so what we want to do is make it now. I gotta update mine, but I'm gonna share mine with you.
Mhm.
Okay. Now here, look at this. Whoops.
Wow, impressive.
So
Ooh.
this is what mine looks like. Now, here, what's my title? I help people in small business develop financial strategies to make money, save money, and keep more of their money. Contact me today. I didn't put my contact information in my title, okay?
Mm.
Because I want them to contact me, okay? Then I scroll down, okay? And there's a section that a lot of people see. You have to click on this add profile section when you're in your profile. It's called featured. This is where I have my website, my Zoom, or my Calendly link, and all that good stuff. Okay, is on there. Okay, and they say pictures worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 10,000 words. Okay, but they can't, but it's all useless if they don't know how to connect with you. Okay, and then I go in here and my about section. Okay, so so I'll now yes, I'm a financial service professional helping families. Okay, are you an individual business owner working hard to climb up the corporate ladder? Okay, boom. You know, and I'm asking questions. I'm showing how I help. Okay, the things that I do to help them get out of their situation. Okay, and we go there. Okay, so now, and to be honest, in my experience, I have a lot more experience than just being an army captain and financial services, but it's all irrelevant because it does. The only thing the only reason I keep U.S. Army in there because it shows my leadership skill and people like working with military people. Okay, so that's it. So your first step is going to be to dial in your about section and your profile so that your your page looks like a business page and not a resume.
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, you okay, Eve?
Oh, I'm cool. I'm absolutely okay.
Yeah, okay, love you.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
glad. I'm
so
glad.
that's gonna be the enough picking on Eve. So now I'm going to share with you a little bit about what I do. And Eve, I will send you this. You can maybe send me your email address, but I'm going to share a different page here real quick. And I'll come back to LinkedIn. So what I do, okay, is I have a 4-step process. Okay. And all right. So this is what my LinkedIn connection script. Okay. Very simple. Hi, Eve. I saw your profile and looks like we could help each other out. I would love to connect with you so that we could get to know each other better. Take care. Thanks. 2,000 times. Now, as of this year, I'm probably at 3,000, maybe almost 4. Okay. Um, and then she connects. Hi, Eve. Thank you for connecting. It looks like we have, several connections or interests. Now, sometimes you're not always going to have connections, but you might. So if I don't have any connections, I'll leave that portion off, but I'll say we have several interests in common. I would love to touch bases to see if there's a way for us to mutually benefit each other. Let me know. Again, I'm trying to help mutual benefit. Okay. And then he would say, oh, I like that. Hi, Eve. I'm so glad that you love to touch base. Also, I look forward to learning more about you and your background, and also sharing what I do as well. Hopefully, we can find some common ground to help each other. Let's schedule time. Here's my Calendly link. Boom. Okay. And and then, she schedules. Hi, Eve. Thank you for scheduling an appointment. I have you down for, Tuesday, such and such date at 3 o'clock. Your time. Put it always in their time zone, not yours, because I do business all across the country. Okay. Now, I look forward to talking with you then. You should have already received a Zooming. Please confirm, if for some reason you need to reschedule, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Now, sometimes they're going to ask some questions. Now, I only put the first thing here. That's a great question. We're in financial service. However, it's kind of visual, and it wouldn't do justice for me to piecemeal the information. Let's schedule a time to chat via Zoom so I can give you the full picture. Now, if they persist, you all have the um, inviting through curiosity package that bear, and so you should have that too, and it has a whole list of objections that and answers. So you can spend some time doing. Now they may ask you a few questions, and it may take more than 4 or 5 messages to get to number 3 or even number 4. Okay, but you want to build a relationship. Okay, ask them more questions. Um, so again, the the hardest part about this is you've got to remember about building relationships. Okay, so now the one thing I also forgot to mention in the business. Now it seems like, and Eve, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like a lot of people here are pretty decent at selling, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But they struggle with the recruiting.
Yes, our team is yeah, the recruiting
Is
is
there any product in our company that if it were suitable for the client, you would not promote it? Any of you? Is there anybody that would not promote a product if they knew it could benefit their clients?
no,
Okay.
no.
Is not our opportunity another product to solve a financial need from our clients and our prospects? The only reason you're not recruiting is because you're not asking. You feel like scared. I mean, I'm an old Army guy. Okay. I've been recruited. Okay. And that process was a whole lot harder than what we go through here. But you need to equate opportunity equals product. Write that down. The opportunity is another product and service. So for those of you that have not gotten a securities license, you get a securities license, you get more products to sell. Okay. Recruiting is another product that you don't need an extra license for. Why are you not selling the opportunity? If you can sell an IUL, you can sell the opportunity. Okay. It's the same thing. And I guarantee you, the opportunity will pay them and benefit them so much more. And I don't care if they even join as a learner, as a student. Okay. Now, I don't add a lot of students because I'm, focused on recruiting and looking for business people. So, how do I do that? Okay. So, let me go back here to LinkedIn, and I'm going to actually teach you my process. Okay. And so um okay, hopefully you guys can see my screen now.
Yep.
Now, so how do I find these people? Okay. So you click here on my network up at the top. Okay. And moving slow tonight. So I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay, there we go. So,
Hmm.
okay, so when you click on my network, we all have this. Okay, now it's gonna say your so it's gonna ask you for connections. Now it also does talk to people, now when I started this process, I messed it all up. I was like, oh, this person looks good. Oh, this person has great credentials. I'd love to touch with base with them. Boy, and I got so much rejection. I almost quit. Okay, it was so bad. I didn't have a process. I didn't have a system. So I'm saving you a lot of the heartache that I went through. Okay. So the key is I'm going to teach you how to find people with it. So, and so here. So now you click on connections and it brings up this whole list of people. Now, but that's a lot of people. 1,646 people, a lot of people. So I want to filter them. So see here it says search with filters. Search with filters. You click on that. Okay. And now see here it says first. So what I'm going to click on is I want to click on all filters. Okay. Now, if you see over here, it says connections. I don't want my first connections. I'm already connected to them. So I unclick that. Okay. Now, if I wanted to follow Eve's, I could look for Eve's people, but why? Because he's already in the business. So I'm going to try to recruit her people or do that. So I'm not going to do that. But I am going to do location. Okay. So let's say, so I'm going to add a location and I'm going to put Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. Why am I doing that? Because I'm moving there next year. So not to, but yeah, that's my intention. After Champions Bowl, I will be a resident of Texas and not California. But so I want to find some people there. Okay. I can also look for current companies or past companies. Why is this important? You ever hear any news announcements that such and such is closing their stores or what's a big one right now? Rite Aid. Rite Aid is closing a bunch of stores. They filed for bankrupt and they may not even survive that. So who do you know that works at Rite Aid? Can you search for them? Hey, and you could even ask them, what are your plans after your Rite Aid closes? Is your store one of the ones closing? Okay, do you keep your business options open? You can do all that stuff. Okay. So you can look at that. You can even look, if you want to find people from your alma mater, you can look at schools. You can also look at industries. I was a realtor, so you can look at real estate. Okay. We even have languages. So if you want to talk to people in Chinese, you can talk to people in Chinese. Okay. And then service categories. But here's where the money is. Key words. Okay. Now I'm going to give you 3. Okay. Write these down. Laid off. Laid off. First one. Second, seeking employment. Third, seeking opportunities. Okay. Laid off, seeking employment, and seeking opportunities. So I'm just going to type in here seeking opportunities for that. Okay. And I'm going to click show results. Don't hit enter. You got to click on the button because it does weird things if you just hit enter. Okay. Now, so I'm going to now to my LinkedIn script and I am going to copy that first thing. Okay. So now I look here. So look at this Chad Foster. Okay. He's in Rockwall, Texas. We have actually 3 connections at least in common. So he would be a good one to do. Okay. So I'm going to click connect, add a note. 100% of the time, you must add a note. 100%. There is no, unless you already know the person, you always add a note. And if you do know the person, say, hey, Eve, it's been a long time since we chatted. I see you're on LinkedIn. I'd love to chat. Okay. Because what happens is if they click, I don't know this person, after you get a certain number of I don't knows, you get put in LinkedIn jail. And LinkedIn jail is not a fun place to be because it reduces your productivity. So here I'm going to put hi, Chad. Names at the top so I can see that. Okay. And then I'm going to paste. I saw your profile. Boom. Done. Okay. Now, as you see on my screen here, I have a person that says message. Don't care. I'm not going to talk to that person. I'm only going to go through the ones that say connect. Okay. Because if, and I never, ever go into their profile until they schedule an appointment with me. Okay. And, and the reason why is you're only given a certain number of searches. So each person that you actually click on their name to go into their profile counts as a search. Okay. So you want to limit that to less than 20. Okay. And same thing with sending invitations. The goal right now is for you to send 20 to 25 of these a day, at least 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Okay. 20 to 5. Don't go to 30. Don't go forward. Because if you do too many, they think you're a spammer. So you don't want to do that. Okay. I keep it to 20 because that gives me some bandwidth so that as I'm doing my recruiting presentations, I can click on the profile and it doesn't put me in LinkedIn jail. Okay. Or throttle me back. So that's kind of what I do. So now, like I said, if obviously it says LinkedIn member, I don't do. Okay. I can, let's see. There's some that will say instead of message, it'll say follow. Okay. I don't do any of that. Only ones like here, this one says follow. Okay. I only do the ones that say connect. Okay. And now here, this one says IT professionals seeking opportunities. Okay. I'm not gonna do that because he's IT. He's looking for an IT. So he says, I'm looking for opportunities in network and Windows Server administration. He's not looking for financial services. And if I were to try to push him, it would be annoying on his side. Okay. So, and then this guy seeking full-time opportunities, maybe not, but he doesn't have a button for me to click on, so I'm not going to deal with it. Okay. Ignore him. Okay. Customer service, on the other hand, I could do. Okay. And, and so those are the different things. And that is how I conduct my search. Okay. Now, how do I structure my day to do all this stuff? Okay. We have 2 periods in the day, prime time and non-prime time. What's prime time? Prime time is when it's good for you to connect with people and talk to them. Where, they're not going to get upset if you're on a phone call at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. They might get upset if you're on a phone call at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Now I get up now and I think Eve, were you at Swan's event, Eve?
Yes.
Okay. So what time does Swan go into the office? 8 a.m.
Early? Yeah.
He's in the office at 8 a.m. every day. But for me, that's still on the edge unless somebody actually wants me to call them. I don't even have my Calendly open that early. But so that's non-prime time for me. So what I do there, my social media, my emails, my paperwork. Okay. All the things that I can do without having to talk to another human being. Sometimes I'll use the prime time on the East Coast and call the providers. Okay. Because they're open. They technically open at 6 a.m. California time. Okay. So I learned to maximize my schedule. Okay. And now the other thing. Okay. I want to give you a couple of mistakes that I made for you. Okay. And so, but before I do that, any questions on how I filter and search to find the people that I'm looking for?
Yes, Robert. I saw that when you wrote that it said, do you have to be a premium member of LinkedIn to be
I'm
able?
not.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought it showed somewhere premium.
Not
Okay.
on me. On other people it might be, but not on me.
Okay.
I am not a premium member.
What's
Any
the
other questions?
what's the advantage to have a premium member?
You get more search opportunities. I mean, in our world, not it's you get more, you can contact more people and do more searches and send more messages.
Mm,
And if you're and you can also, send them a direct email instead of going through the search and stuff. There's a few other connection things, but why? I don't, I mean, I'm at
yeah.
70 some odd recruits for
Mm,
free.
I like that. I like free. So you mentioned about the jail thing, the LinkedIn jail. Can you explain a little bit more how did
So
people
the
get into the LinkedIn jail?
So usually by spamming or getting a number of, or if you've done too many searches, they throttle you back. So a lot of times, like if you go and search 50 people, what's going to start happening is you're going to get a lot more of these messages and very few of the connects. Okay. And the thing is that what happens is, is it, so if you click on, that's why I don't ever click on their profile to see what they're about. I only care about the ones because I don't, if I hit connect, I don't have to, it doesn't count as a search for me. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if I do too many searches, what happens is they throttle me back. And I usually have to wait about 48 hours before I can get a refresh. If you do too many in a week like that, then they make you wait till the end of the month
Mm.
until it resets. Okay. So you got to be a little bit cautious there. And if people complain, then they might, then you might get a nasty grant, and
So
we don't
when
want
you
to.
so when you click on their profile, the search, right? Let's say Lisa Morse,
So when I
you
clicked on
click
your
it.
profile, Eve, that kind of does a search.
Oh, so the lady will know that you are looking into her profile,
Not
Lisa.
necessarily. I mean, yeah, if she has that's the other thing. When you have the premium, it lets you see all the people that have clicked on your profile.
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
You may get a message that says Rob Cunha looked at it, or you had somebody, your profile has been viewed 5 times today. I don't know what it is. Okay. But check that out when you go on your LinkedIn page.
mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, and you should get some kind of notifications. Okay. And but
Rob,
um
the
go ahead.
follow Jacoby G follow, you'll ignore that also.
Yep. If it's follow or if it's anything other than connect, I ignore them. Because the only way I can message them is for me to go into their profile. And that counts as a search. That means that's one less person I can connect to. Oh, here. Okay. So I'm gonna break my rule and I'm gonna look at this. This right here, Lisa Morris. Currently seeking new opportunities in the insurance industry at insurance sales services.
There you go.
Now, I would normally not click on her profile, but I'm gonna, okay, just because that piqued my interest. Okay. So here she is. Okay. And let's see. So she's done a lot of different things. She's a licensed sales agent, State Farm. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, and again, she doesn't have a lot of connections, so that means she hasn't really built a lot. But I'm gonna now, okay, see here. So this is where it wants me to do the recruiter light. I don't want to do that. So let's see what I can do. So I will send, so in this case, I can't send her a message directly. That's the other thing that paying for it does. So I'm going to click connect here. Okay. And this is where I can add the note and I
Mm,
can say, hi, Lisa. But again, this is the first time I've done this in over a year, probably 18 months now,
mm.
since early last year. But I'm doing it for illustration purposes. Okay. So again, I saw your profile, boom, done.
Okay, go recruit her,
Yeah.
Robert.
If I get her from State Farm, my pleasure. No, I'm
Take your time.
magnetized. I'm always willing to help. There's a
Very
reason
good.
why she's looking and stuff. So, we do that. Okay. Now, so the thing is we have the process. We go into our connections, we search through filters, we look for the 3 keywords: laid off, seeking employment, or seeking opportunities. Okay. We're trying to find common ground. Now, the last thing that I learned the hard way, because when I started this in January of last year, I started getting some, and I started doing some precision. And then I started getting people like, no, 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 think about it, this, that. And they disappear. And, one of the people that helped me learn the strategy a little bit better was Andrew Lim. I go, Andrew, I'm doing all these presentations and nobody's joining. And I mean, I went through like 3 weeks without a single recruit, and it was killing me. And he goes, and he goes, well, Rob, how much time are you spending building a relationship? Light bulb moment. I'm like, really? And I go, okay, good, got it, thanks, boom, done. And I learned that again, WIFM, what's in it for me? And so now I'm trying to weave in throughout the presentation, building relationship. I will ask up front, so what I call my 4 questions, which I will also send to Eve, and I will share with you here real quick. And so these are my 4 questions. Now, this can be used for online or through face-to-face. So, so let's say, Eve's my waitress, okay? Or, she's my clerk at the local convenience store. Now, if it's slammed and busy, don't do this. If there's a line of 5 people behind you, don't do this. It's just going to annoy everybody, okay? And make you feel like an idiot. But if it's kind of calm and, Eve gives me great service, I'm going to say, wow, I mean, I love the restaurant, I love the food. You've been amazing as my waitress. How long have you been doing this? Okay. So I always start with the compliment, and then I say, how long you been doing it? Okay. And she'll tell me. Okay. Well, do you love it? It's okay. Do you plan on doing this for another 10 years? No, it's just a job. Well, let me ask you, do you keep your business options open? Well, yeah. Well, my company's expanding and we're looking for sharp people just like you. Emphasize that, underline it, highlight it, whatever. Just like you. And I would love to share what I'm doing with you. Why don't you text me your email address so that I can set up an appointment? Now, I used to ask, why don't you give me your name, number, and email? And people got like, freaked out. But everybody will text me their email address. I don't know why. And in doing so, they give me their phone number. And I should already have the name. If nothing else, they got a name badge on. So, and I do that. Now, when I'm doing the presentation, again, I spin up what's your background, what type of things are you looking for? How's doing what you're doing? How long you been doing that? Do you love it? 4 questions. Finish the 4 questions. Okay. And I don't do the fourth one. I do actually the 3. Say, well, maybe. And so instead of this, do you keep your business options open? Say, you know what? Maybe I can help you find a solution. And I'll tell you what, why don't we do this, Eve? Why don't I go over my company overview with you? And, afterwards, I'll answer any remaining questions you have. And if we're a good fit, we can start working together. If not, at least we'll have had a pleasant conversation. You might learn 1 or 2 things about what I do. I'll hopefully get to know you a little bit better. And, maybe, we might have some common ground where we can introduce each other to some mutual clients. How's that sound? Okay, now I'm building that relationship. And it's not all just me, me, me. Because, like when I'm on LinkedIn and somebody gives me their, like, I mean, if you all spend any time on LinkedIn, you're going to get like these long messages telling you in that first connection request everything about what they do. And like, I deliberately make sure that I click, I do not know this person, because they are ruining LinkedIn for the rest of us. So I want them out of there. But but if you, again, mutual benefit, WIFM, the favorite radio station and all that stuff. But it's how the mechanics of finding the people. Okay. So the key is, now this is my last point. Social media is very fast, but it's not very stable. Center of influence, warm market, customer base is very stable, but not very fast. Okay. And so you need a combination of both fast and stable. Now, I'm gonna put Eve on the spot one more time. How many hours a day would you say that you spend on prospecting and doing sales on
Not a
average?
lot. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but how are you generating your sales?
So the sales is mainly, sometimes it's because it's a field training,
Uh-huh.
and also reviewing our customer, because 7 years in the business, now we have more customer base that we can do review. And
So,
of course, find some new prospects. So in
so
another
about how
words,
many hours a week would you say that you do that?
oh, I think it's quite a lot. Mr. Low, how many hours a week? We have like maybe 8 to 10 appointments a week,
Okay.
but
So
that's
say
more
about
sales. So recruiting, it's not so much, unless it's like a few recruiting for my agent.
okay. So here's the thing. So let's just say it's 10 hours a week. Okay. That
Mhm.
you're actually spending doing sales. Okay. You have one or two choices. A, you focus 9 hours there and give me 1 hour of that time for recruiting if that's what you're limited to. Or B, you give me 11 hours and add an hour in specifically focused on recruiting. Okay.
Mm.
Nothing else. There's no sales. I'm not answering a sales question. I'm not, I mean, I'm just focused on personal recruiting, not even for your team, personal. Can you give me, Eve, do you think, actually, I'm going to go both of you because there's two of you. So could each of you give me 1 hour a week simply devoted to recruiting? More than what you're doing now and prospecting and finding people to bring into this company. Okay. Think about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, and the thing is, if you just did one extra invitation a day, one a day, that's 5 a week. Okay. That means you've done 20 for the month. Okay. Now, what does Ed Milet say? 10, 3, 1. Okay. Out of every 10 invitations, you get 3 that show up. And out of those 3, you would get 1 to either join or become a client. So if you just did one extra invitation a day than what you're doing right now, okay, that's 20 extra invitations a month, which means you should get an extra 6 to listen to the presentation, which means you should get maybe 2 to 3 to either join or become a client. What would that do for your business, Eve? And if you duplicated that to every one of your teammates, what would that do for your business? Ed Milet just wrote an incredible book called The Power of One More. Can we just make, how long does it take to do it? And Reno, how long does it take for you to do an invitation? Pick up the phone and say, hey, when's a good time to talk? How long does it take?
5 seconds.
Okay.
10
Can you give me
seconds.
5 seconds? I'm gonna say let's take a full minute. Okay, because you might want to do a little relationship building. Okay. How's things going? How the kids? How's the family? This and that. So can you give me 1 minute a day to do one extra? Now, some of you might be crazy like me and say, well, if it only takes me 1 minute, what if I did 5 extra a day? Okay. And the way I treat my business and recruiting, especially, I recruit like my life depends on it. Now, my life doesn't depend on it, but the rest of my life does. Okay, your life doesn't depend on this, but the rest of your life does. And your determination right now is to say, how much of it do I want? We're right now 60,000 licensed agents in the United States. They have a plan in the next 3 years to get to 110,000. Okay, personally, I think they're underestimating, but that's what their goal is in 3 years to get 110,000. How many of those do you want under you? Decide. Okay. And that's your homework right now. Okay. is first decide, talk to Eve, set up a business plan. The great thing that right now is timing. We are in the fourth quarter. Okay. Close this year strong, because I'm going to give you an interesting correlation that I've learned over the last 3 years. My first quarter has been linked and absolutely dependent on the activity that I did on the fourth quarter. So my first quarter results is based on my fourth quarter activity. Isn't that interesting? Okay. And I was on track to hit 50 recruits last year. Why did I end up at 44? Because driving home from Elite Circle in Fresno, I was in a car accident. I broke my foot. Eve saw me in a boot, and hobbling around stage, even at Champions Bowl, because I broke my foot, but my foot didn't break me. Okay. I kept my 90-day plan going from the hospital, from my, I was in the hospital on December 9th, and on December 10th, I was the MC for the Sacramento Business Academy. Okay. That's my level of determination. Now, I might be a little bit hard. I'm an old Army guy, so I doesn't let much get me down. But I want to give you guys a little bit of my mindset. Give me the extra minute a day. Give me an extra hour a week, even Elvin. Okay. Give it. And I guarantee you, you're going to have two things come this time next year. Say, oh my God, I'm so thankful that I was on with Rob last October, because my business is in a totally different place. Or you're going to see some of the people that did listen to Rob. Not that I'm anybody special, but you're going to see somebody listen and actually put this stuff to work. And you're going to say, man, I messed up. I should have listened to Rob. I should have gotten into action. I should have gotten my mindset straight. And I messed up. I didn't do it. Okay. You get to choose which of those statements you're going to make. Okay. And, everything's your choice. Your business is going to be wherever you choose it to be. Now, have I had days where I didn't feel like doing things? Yes. Where I messed up, I got distracted or whatever. Yes. All the time. I mean, I'm probably like an ADD child sometimes, when it comes to the business. But, the thing is, that's why I use Calendly religiously. I live in that. This appointment is in my phone. If it wasn't in my phone, I wouldn't be here right now, because I would have totally forgotten about it. So, thanks for Eve for making sure I got that email so I could add it to my calendar. Okay. And so, have a system. I'm an S. So for those of you that do Elite Circle, I'm an S. Okay. And that's the old Army in me. For me, it stands for SOP, Standard Operating Procedures. But I'm structured. And the thing is, once you guys develop a plan, get down. I know Eve and Alvin, they could sit down with you and do, and what I would encourage you to do, don't wait till January. I'd wait to do it like now or in December. And I want you to write this down. What are my goals for 2024? Where do I want to be this time next year? I know without a doubt, Eve and Elvin can help you get there. But if you don't have, if I want to drive to New York, I have to have a plan. I can't make it in a day. Okay. I have to have stopping points along the way. Same thing with this business. You can't get to SMD overnight. First, you got to become a senior associate, or maybe even just an associate. Then you got to get to MD. Then you get to SMD. You have to have points along the way. But I guarantee you, if you make that drive, you're going to see a lot of beautiful scenery. But you are going to have some speed bumps. You're going to have detours, and you're going to have crazy drivers who try to cut you off. Okay, it's part of driving. Our business is no different. Okay, so more than concepts never change. Okay, 10-3-1 will never change. Technique always will. Okay. Now, I don't, maybe 5 years from now, I don't know if LinkedIn is going to pull like it's pulling right now, but I'm going to milk it for every ounce I can until it stops. And then at that time, I'll readjust. So, Eve, I sometimes get a little amped up and a little bit wordy. Hopefully, I've done good. And at this time, if you guys got questions, or if you guys want to ask me anything about anything, because I'm the guy that messed it all up from the beginning. I mean, and so I'm a very good teacher of what not to do. But sometimes you learn more from messing up than you do from doing it right. So, any questions?
Wow.
Elvin, you're in
Yeah,
charge now.
Rob, wonderful. Thank you so much. I learned so much. I wasn't expecting this. I was like, okay, Lincoln, I tried, but completely 180 degrees from what you just inform us. I'm gonna try it again. Excellent, right? I think the rest of the team would agree. We learned a lot. Definitely going to put this to use. Just a couple of questions real quick. So LinkedIn is the only way. I mean, we talk about social media. There's, of course, Instagram, Facebook, but just LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is not the only way. For me, it's an easy way. Okay, because of what I like about it is the search feature, because I can search by geographical area, and I can search for what they're looking for. So like I'm a realtor, okay, so if I want to find real estate agents or mortgage agents, I could easily search for those people. My approach is going to be slightly different, but relatively the same. Okay. Eve, what's your background?
My background?
Mhm.
I was a stay-home
Professional
housewife,
homemaker.
15 years.
Okay, you saw, you could put homemaker. Okay, you could say, now for you, how old are your kids now?
22 and 20 years, 20 years old.
Okay, yeah.
We're empty
So I
nesters,
mean,
bro.
yeah, I mean, you could say, I mean, what my point is on Facebook, you can join moms groups. You can join, other organizations on Facebook. That's the nice thing about it, is the group. It's the approach is slightly different. Okay, and a lot of groups, they don't want you to advertise or promote in the group. But if I was part of, say, a mom's group, say, Eve, I totally hear what you're saying, and I hated working, when my kids were in school, because I didn't really get a chance to bond with them as I wanted to, and I wasn't always there to help them with their homework. But I found something. I don't know if it's for you, but I think I have found something that allows me to do both now. I can be there for my kids. So, you can do that through Facebook. To be honest, I've gotten nothing out of Instagram or Pinterest or, any of the other things. I'm
Okay,
prevented from doing TikTok, just by, TFA's rules, because I am FINRA licensed, but yeah, they but there's some people that do, but I got a good face for radio. I look much better by voice than I do by picture. I mean, if I didn't have to look in the mirror to shave, I wouldn't do it at all. But but yeah, so yeah, you can use other mediums. And again, the 4 questions can be used everywhere.
Okay, so
Okay.
thank you. Especially, I think what's invaluable, and the rest of the team will agree, is your experience and what not to do. I think hopefully that will be a great shortcut.
I have screwed up so many times, so many different ways. And I mean, I still got a lot more screwing up to do to get to SMD. I'm not even SMD yet, guys.
Wow,
Okay.
amazing. Yep.
I mean, but so I got a lot more messing up to do before I can hit SMD.
Yeah, you for sure you're gonna get there. I mean, for those who joined late, Irma and all that. I mean, when we started, Rob was saying you should be closing GX5 right this month. So definitely a role model, something to look up for. Amazing.
Well, and see, and like for me, I'm the master of sign and die. Okay, that's a sign, and then you never hear from them again. I mean, like I said, I mean, out of those 10 licensees from last year, only 2 of them are still with me right now today. I'm getting some new people, but only 2 from last year are still around. Okay, because I get sign and dies, I get license and dies, and a lot of things, and so I'm getting better. I'm learning, and but the key is when you do cold market, you have to almost double your emphasis on building relationships and time.
I have one last question. I mean, I want to leave some time for the rest of the team in case they ask. So answering and some call, and you do the 4 message script, then you funnel down to like a couple of them, No, the very first, I call it true engagement, probably over Zoom, correct?
It's
What do you
oh yeah.
normally do? Standard that one-page presentation, or I just want to pick your
I actually use the BPM presentation
BPM. Okay.
because it's I give a little bit more in depth. I did add one or two screens for myself. Eve, I can share that with you too if you really want it.
Yeah.
And I'll let you use it at your discretion. But it worked for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
And if we want to do a practice presentation, I'm more than happy to do it. And Elvin, if you guys try this and you have hit some snags, Rob, what am I doing wrong? You guys know you guys know how to reach me.
Okay.
My Calendly is first come, first serve. I don't care if it's my people, your people, or whoever. It's first come, first serve, whoever gets there.
I really love your calendar, Robert, because it's so clear. If I want recruiting, then let's go to the recruiting appointment. If I want to the product or investment, it's so beautiful. It's so okay. I'm going to share with you guys the team how you get. We should all set up our own calendar.
Now, I will say my Calendly is paid for, so I have the subscription. So
Okay.
because in order to get extras, you have to pay for it, but
Yeah.
you can get one. Now, the one that says 45-minute one-on-one, I actually copied that specific link, and that's the one I actually send out when I'm recruiting. If I'm talking to somebody about sales on LinkedIn, I will specifically send out the retail one, the client one. Okay. So that where they're not seeing the whole menu, I will send the specific calendar. But at least it keeps my calendar clean and organized.
Yeah. So typically, how long is your appointment for all this cold prospect?
So for recruiting, I allow an hour. But I break out the presentation. 15 minutes is usually devoted to relationship building and getting to know them. Okay, the actual presentation in and of itself shouldn't take me more than 30 minutes. Occasionally I get somebody that asks questions and interrupts me all the way through and it takes a little longer. But usually about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the 15 minutes afterwards is either a buffer, or if they decide to join, that's when I take them right into signing up through the WFG registration link.
Right. So what is your chance, I mean, the rate of success, like first time when you present, they will just register online, or do you have to follow up with them later? Because, it's cold prospect, right? And then when you want to take all this personal information, social security number,
I don't know. So I have them do that. Okay. So what I do is I say, so Eve, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to post the registration link here into chat. And I post it and say, okay, now click on it. I'm going to walk you through it right now. It takes us about 5 minutes or so. So I say, okay, now Eve, the first page you're going to come to is going to ask you, if you're in the United States and Canada. And obviously we're in the United States. It's also going to ask you if you've been licensed before. Based on our conversation, you have not. Okay. And so now on the second page, it's going to ask you for some personal information. I'm not seeing it. I'm telling them about it. Okay. And I say, now the two bits of information that are absolutely important to us is one is going to be your social. So that way we can do the background check. And two, we need, your emails, because they're going to send you a 6-digit code, kind of like your bank does, with that 2-step verification. Okay. And so you'll need to be able to check your email. And I said, let me know when you get that code. Okay, get the code. I got the code. Great. It's entered. Okay, great. Now you're going to come to a page that's going to ask you about me. Now, the way I use, and I'll just put in my copy of my registration link so that you can see how to format it, so that you'll just have to replace my agent ID with yours. Okay. And so summary, oh no. All right. So this is basically my registration link. Okay. And and it takes me. So then I said, now my information should already be pre-populated, but just to be, and they'll say, yep, your name, your ID. Okay, great. Just hit verify and next. Boom, that page is done. Okay, now it's going to ask you a couple extra questions, like if you've been licensed in Canada, a couple of things. It's going to take you to a DocuSign page. Okay, now please be patient. And sometimes, depending on your Wi-Fi, it might take a minute or two for that DocuSign to load. Okay, and some of these instructions I'm giving so that there's no silence on the call. Okay, to make them feel supported, and so in relationship, and then I'll say, okay, great. Now, and then once you finish the DocuSign, it's going to ask you to process the registration fee, so we can do that background check. Okay, and then let me know when you got that and done, and then say, yep, it's processing. I say, great. You're going to get a congratulations letter. Let me know when that pops up. Now, because I'm not SMD, I got to contact my SMD to approve it. Okay, even and if you guys are not SMD, say, Eve, I got Mary Jones. Can you please look for her and approve it for me? Bada bing, done and stuff. And that's my process. And then now I don't want anybody to change because I don't ever want to hear say that, well, Rob told me to. No, don't ever say that. But I'm just saying what I do and what works for me. Now, so before I hang up with that call, I'm going to have my next appointment scheduled within 24 to 48 hours. What now? For me, I don't go straight into the easy start. I actually do what I call a getting started call. Okay, now what do I cover on the getting started call? It's 4 things. 1, a little bit more relationship building. 2, I want to plug them into our communication sources. WhatsApp for me. I do a few things on Facebook, groups and stuff, to give them the information. So I want to plug into those things. We use the 4 call series, so I make sure that they're plugged into that. And then I want to get them registered for ExamFX to do their licensing. Okay, that's all covered. That's all I cover in their getting started call. Okay, is that. Then 24 to 48 hours after that, that's when I go into the easy start. Okay. And and then we start building, we start doing practicing for invitations and all that stuff. But so my weakest point has been getting people into the action. Okay, I can get them licensed, but getting them into action and producing results. And thanks to being a GXer and getting the extra training, I finally feel confident that I can teach somebody how to get an action start duplicating. But Elvin and I have been doing a lot of talking. Anybody else have any questions that they would like to, questions, comments, complaints, moans and groans? I'm open to it all.
Rob, a question for you. So let's say when you go through this recruiting route and somebody says, no, I'm not interested in it, how do you switch from the recruiting to the sales?
Well, so 99 in this process, 99.9% of the time, if they're not interested, they're not interested in anything. Now, what I do though, in my presentation, okay, we go over and we talk about, and if you look at the BPM presentations, it talks about the 6-7 areas that we help people. Retirement, college funding, protection. It's all there, right? It's all there. So now when I go through that, I will say, a lot of people, they just go through it. For me, I'll say, now, Eve, I bet you probably know some people that could probably benefit from at least one or more of these strategies, right? It's like, yeah. I go, now, Eve, now, are there any of these areas that you personally need help with? Okay, I'm already setting up for that in my head. Okay, they don't think, and they say, yeah, I could use some help with retirement planning or estate preservation. Great, is that important to you? Yeah, okay, great. I think we might be able to help you there. And then I go in and I say, you know what, I want to think about it. Say, hey, no problem. But you know what? I think you mentioned that you wanted to help with retirement planning and estate preservation, right? Well, I'll tell you, why don't we schedule a time to talk about that? Okay, let's not worry about the opportunity of the business side. Let's just get your family taken care
of. Okay, thank you.
Very good,
but
very good.
Just like when we do the PFS, we're gathering information all the way through, at least you should be, so that you're not asking all those questions at the end. You're as you go through, you're asking questions, how much do you make, this and that, and so so that at the end you only have about maybe a third to half of the information left to complete. So at the end, so what are their hot button issues?
Great.
Rob, one
Anna,
more
you have
question. On a sales, if you are doing a sales with this cold market, typically, or from our LinkedIn prospect, typically how long does it take you to close a sale?
Okay, so you've heard the term that we are financial doctors, correct? Has anybody not heard that term? Raise your hand. If you've never, we're a financial doctor. Now, you are never, ever, ever, ever going to be able to go into a doctor's office and say, "Doctor, give me medicine XYZ." He's going to say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a second. I need to do a checkup first." Okay. So the first check is he does a checkup. Okay. Then he's going to ask you to run some tests. Okay. Then you got to go back for a second appointment to get your diagnosis and prescription. We're the same way. We do a PFS to gather your data, to do your financial checkup. Then I'm going to run through that all through the computer system so that I can make sure that I know exactly the best way to help you. Okay. And then we'll schedule an appointment for next week or within 48 hours, ideally, to go over my recommendation. Okay. So it could be as short as 48 hours or 72 hours. It could be as long as a week to 10 days. Okay, at least for me to present the. Now, sometimes they might want to hold off. And, I mean, the ratios. I mean, how many people have, like, I mean, I have a screenshot. I don't have it up with me, but right now, but it says, most people quit after the third call. They give up. 80% of the sales are made after the fifth or sixth call. Penny Oy said no 8 times. Can you imagine if her inviter gave up after number 7? Where would we be?
That's true.
So
very true.
it varies. Hannah, I see you're unmuted. Did you have a question?
Yes. I just was wondering, what would you suggest for someone for like the LinkedIn profile, who wouldn't have like background related to like insurance or sales or anything?
Did you did you see my profile?
Briefly.
Okay, let me bring it back up. So basically, I don't care what your background is. I don't. I mean, and sometimes that background gets in the way of what you do. Remember, what's everybody's favorite radio station? WIFM. What's in it for me? So the only information I truly care about is how can you help me? What are the services? So say, hey, do you have kids? You concerned about their college? We can help with that. Okay. And you have a business, you want to make sure that you can increase employee retention and create a tax benefit for your business. I can help with that too. Okay.
So basically just
tell them what
sorry.
you do, not just but not a title, not a bullet point. How can you help them? Okay. And if you copy my name, search me on LinkedIn. You can look at my profile. I mean, 90% of what's on my profile I plagiarized from somebody else. The only thing that is legitimately and truly mine on my profile is my picture. And it's not even that good. I mean, I am living proof that you do not need to be good looking and that you do not need to be smart to do this business. The one thing I left out when I told you I went in that first meeting at Penny's office, I walked in there and I go, I'm different. First, I'm the only white guy. Second, I'm the dumbest guy in the room. Okay, because I'm around all these PhDs, master's degrees, engineers, and the whole alphabet of initials after people's names. And 4.0 students, and here comes Mr. 2.7 GPA Army guy. I was like, first time in my life I ever felt like a minority. And so if I can do it, all of you are infinitely more qualified to do it than I am. I'm just stubborn and I and I set myself, I said, I am prepared for my life to suck for the next 12 to 18 months so that the next 12 to 18
Oh,
will you do the same?
Hey,
Mhm.
Rob, I got a quick question.
Shoot.
Looks like you found the, I call it a formula, which is great on LinkedIn. But do you do that? Do you prospect outside LinkedIn? I mean, what
Oh
you
yeah.
just
I use
shared
the
with us?
four. That's why I have the four came up with the four questions. Because I mean I was using the four questions with my nurses when I was in the hospital. You know,
Okay.
Cindy and I did some travel. We went up to New England and you know, prospected we did some photography and we prospected the waitresses at all the restaurants we ate at. I mean, you can even use it for war market. Hey Alvin, how's you been? We haven't chatted in a while. Hey, are you still working at XYZ company? Yeah. You loving it? No. Do you plan on doing it for another 10 years? Oh no. No way. Well, hey, you know, the company that I just joined, we're expanding. And I think we're looking for sharp people, and you're pretty sharp to me. You've always has been. I would love to share with you what I'm doing. Why don't you come out of the house? Why don't we get on Zoom? I mean, you know this stuff.
Right.
The key is you have to have a recruiting mindset. You can either sell to recruit, that's totally fine. Connie is one of the best recruiters out of her customer base out there. Okay. Or you can do what I do. You can recruit to sell because we have the concept of joint own share. Now
Mhm.
I'm getting better at doing that. My production's been low, but I'm learning. Okay. So we're looking at those
A quick question, Rob. For those when you connect with people on LinkedIn and if they say no, do you follow up with them at all? No.
things. SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. There's always somebody who's waiting.
Thank you.
Love it.
Next. I don't have time. I don't have. I mean, see, that's the thing. What do you do when somebody? I don't care. I've got 3 more appointments tomorrow. I don't care if somebody misses their appointment. Great. I'm so excited when I have a no-show because that means I can focus on getting some more paperwork done because I hate paperwork. I can do other things. I can go play with my dogs, or whatever. Okay. And my dogs are my kids right now. Okay. So I love no-shows because I got 5 more tomorrow. I don't care. And that is a liberating thing to be in your business to where you don't care. I mean, I care about people, I care about their lives, I care about helping them. But you need to adopt the Denny's waitress mentality. Okay, what is that? Would you like some coffee? No. Would you like some coffee? No. Would you like some coffee? No. Do you think that Denny's waitress goes back to the kitchen? Oh my God, they didn't want any coffee. I'm a failure. No. She just went next. There's always somebody, there's more people out there. They don't care. And when you don't care, life's easy.
I think you nailed it, Robert. The thing is because you have appointments, 5 appointments lining up. So if they don't show, I
Every
don't
day.
care because I have a lot. The problem is sometimes you people have only 1 appointment a week, and it's so precious. So when they cancel it, it's like they kill their emotion.
So get more than 1 appointment a week.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not
That's
complicated. It's not right. I mean, digging a ditch is not complicated. Now it's work. It's not easy. This is not easy. Going through 20 connection requests every single day, 5 days a week. I mean, it only takes me about an hour, maybe less than an hour a day, but it's tedious. Okay. Sending up the follow appointments. It's tedious. Okay. But it made me GX4 going on 5.
Mhm.
Choose your suck. I mean, being poor sucks. Working hard sucks. Okay. But working hard makes you not poor. And see, there's two, and that's the other thing I learned. There's 2 pains in life. and in this business. There's the pain of discipline, and there's the pain of regret. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Choose your pain.
Well said, well said.
Anything else?
Adrian, you have a question? Something?
Yeah, I actually have a question. So I have an engineering background, right? So today I
I'm
still
sorry. That's all
yeah,
right.
I know.
I couldn't hold that back.
And then so today, I mean, I have a LinkedIn profile, right? So of course everything is all related to my past experience, but how do am I able to create another LinkedIn profile to do this? Because I've been
So-
struggling to do that unless I wipe out the entire LinkedIn profile, right?
Well, there's two questions that I would ask. Are you still working as an engineer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still have my full-time job, sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because and the reason why I ask that is that sometimes, like people's professional online reputation, is very precarious in their jobs, so that they can't always do what we do on their professional LinkedIn account.
Right.
Now, so they will create a second LinkedIn profile that is specifically focused on the
this.
business.
Yeah.
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 Now, and they might invite a few select people. Like if you're talking to people at work, say, hey, why don't I send you a connection request to my business profile?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say my current one is just my online resume.
Mm-hmm.
Make the distinction. This is my engineering one. That's just my resume. But I would love to show you my business page.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you go with it.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense because I've been thinking about this and I wanted to create one that's for the business, right? It's not, so it's a separate but yeah, it's not been so easy.
And if any of you want me to pick on you like I picked on Eve, I'm happy to do that. When my wife died, one of the ways that I needed to make some extra money was I did substitute teaching. But I promise I won't use a red pen and circle anything that's wrong. I'll just make you embarrassed. But the thing is, it's, and that's the thing. If you're not having fun doing it, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
Now, I can be accused of having a little bit too much fun, but hey, that's me.
Rob,
Yeah,
if
Rob. I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's like Karina.
No, would you mind looking at my LinkedIn profile?
I knew you were going to ask me, no? That's is
All
definitely
right,
much better than mine,
yeah,
Rob.
let's see here.
Do anybody has LinkedIn? I'm very bad at LinkedIn. I don't really do much about my LinkedIn. Anybody, Anita? I'm sure you have LinkedIn, right? Is
So
it good?
yeah, so Robert, you can look at my LinkedIn, and I have been a little bit more successful with getting sales clients, but I have not gone down the recruiting path.
Okay, remember, recruiting is just another product.
Maybe you're focusing on the sales, right? Maybe you talk about retirement, you talk about long-term care. That of course that route goes to
That
sales.
is why, yeah, that's why. So that's why I'm saying if maybe he can take a look at my.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Let
So
me
you
see
just
here.
need
So,
tweak your message. That's all.
okay.
Do
See
you
if I
want me
got
to
the right
share?
one.
Okay, do you want me to share mine? Okay.
Is this you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, well, first thing, as Eve said, it's better than Eve's. I love this. Okay, and I love the I help executive. Beautiful, beautiful thing there. I love it. Okay, let's see the about.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
He's
See, okay.
professional.
See, why did you need
La
me? We
la.
could have done this training on how to set up your LinkedIn profile.
Is this your business page?
Yes, this is my business. So I actually started. I don't have a business, but I never really used my LinkedIn for anything. So I just converted what I had into this.
Beautiful. I think it's an absolutely
Yeah. And you have more than 500 connection.
Now, the only criticism I would have
Mhm.
is I would get rid of California unless you just want to focus your entire business in California.
The reason I
Mm.
did that in California
Okay,
was
I would make it, I would try to make it so that it's nationwide, so
Mm.
that it doesn't matter. Because if you build your Vegas team, well, oh, she's a California person. Why do I want to talk to her?
very true. The only reason I kept that was because I have noticed that going and meeting somebody in person has a lot more effect
Yes.
than doing something on Zoom.
Now,
So that is why I
the
did.
other thing that I would add specifically to California, long-term care tax.
Yeah.
I help people avoid their long-term care taxes.
Okay.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
or you could talk about that. Something, here, you know, um, and see, and
Oh, wow. You have what other people say about you. That's good.
she even has testimonials. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
that good, Reno. That's like I'm impressed.
You should have picked on Reno instead of mine, Rob.
See, look at this, look at this. She even has her cleanly on there.
Oh, wow.
Now, the only thing I would add here is I would put in your featured the cleanly link. I
Yeah.
love they got the testimonials there, but you need your website and your cleanly link and your featured.
Okay.
But beyond that, I'm actually, ideally, if you can edit this and under wealth preservation
Mhm.
specialist, add, like you're at, here, and if you're on Facebook or X or wherever you are, and because let me show you this here. I'll just do this, and I don't want to go too much longer, but
Or you can add in your the Dream Builder, the FS website.
yep.
Yeah, but then that website is not working now.
Is
That's
it not
true.
up already?
Yesterday somebody was saying it was going to be down for a couple of
Yeah.
months.
Who
Yeah,
was asking?
I know they're revamping a few things,
Yeah, could be. That was why.
and all right. Well, my internet is not liking me right now. Go Google, or when you're on LinkedIn, search for Penny White.
Okay.
Hmm.
Look at her profile. Okay.
Okay.
And if you can make, your banner look like hers, that's one of the best that I could recommend.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rob.
Anybody else? Anything else?
Anybody else has any question for Robert?
And if you do, and because usually if you're like me, 10 minutes after we hang up, you're gonna have like 3 questions. Send them to Eve. Eve knows how to reach me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm here to serve. I'm happy to help.
Hey,
Thank you
Robert,
so
we
much.
really, really thank you so much. I mean, we learned so much from you. I think I have the three, what do you call it? Acronym for your personality.
IPR.
Instead
IPR,
of the
invitation, or there's encourage, praise, and recognize. And then there's
yeah,
IPR, invitations to presentations to make recommendations.
yeah. For me, I'm gonna give it to you, Rob. WFS, no, not WFG. You're wise, you're funny, and you are systematic.
I don't know about the wise part, but and when
No,
most
I
people want to
think you are
say I'm
wise.
funny, I usually think they're saying funny looking. But
But no.
yeah.
Whatever you say is true. I love the part you said I'm prepared to suck for 12 to 18 months. So I can have a 12 to 18 years of enjoyment.
So
Is
that
there
the next
something?
12 to 18 years will be absolutely glorious.
See, even better. Yep.
Okay. And and I mean the thing is, and I mean, you've all been through periods of your life that sucked, and you had to overcome it. I mean, for me, the worst was when my wife died. Okay,
Mm.
and that fuels me because and I'll be honest, man's job is to provide and protect. When she died, I failed in both of those missions. Okay, and I still have my moments even today, where I get a little emotional. Okay, and and sometimes I want to grab people by the collar and slap them in the face and say, you need to wake the hell up. You do not want to go through what I went through. Okay. Now you guys can use me. Say, you need to wake the hell up. You don't want to go through what Rob went through. If you want me to get him on the phone, he'll tell you. Okay. Because it sucks when you're not prepared. I learned it's better to have it 10 years too soon than need it 1 minute too late. And you guys have been in the trainings. How many people have we heard about that they said no, and then 3 months later they get diagnosed with breast cancer, or they get in a car accident, or something else happens to them, and now they're not insurable? Okay. And then how many other people were just the opposite? They got insured, and then within 3 months, 6 months, a year, they get diagnosed with something. Like, oh, thank God, we're protected. The family's going to be okay. Won't bring back the loved one, but we're going to be okay.
So true.
Okay. That's the technique. Like I said, it could change next year. I don't know for how long this is going to last with LinkedIn. I'm just using it while I can. The concepts and the belief level and what I went through, that will never, ever change. Okay. The only wisdom I've got came from street wisdom. The only school in which I'm a doctor in is the school of hard knocks. Okay. And I'm just trying to help you guys avoid my pain and suffering.
Yeah.
And after the first year, Eve will keep some stats. That's the important thing. Keep your stats, keep your numbers, because like if you have 3,000 invitations but no appointments, well, something's wrong there. We need to look at that, troubleshoot, see what you're doing wrong. And after Champions Bowl, Eve can call me up and say, hey, Rob, can you get back on with the team and do a troubleshoot, do a follow-up? I'm happy to do it. Eve and Oven are two of the greatest people I know. I love them dearly, and you are blessed to have two of the finest leaders that I know, two of the finest SMDs who love their people, who care enough to make these things happen for their team. Okay, so, and I have one last request. Okay, don't waste my time. Tonight, I shared with you from the heart. I ask you to put it to use. Okay, because if you do nothing with anything we talked about tonight, you wasted my time.
Yep.
You wasted your time and everybody else's time.
Yep. You're so right, Rob. In fact, this is something that I want to say, but you read my mind. It's true. Let's not waste Rob's time. He's so kind enough to spend his 2 hours. I know 2 hours is very precious to him in the night. Let's all make sure we have results, right? And then I'm going to tell Robert, October 19, 2023, 1 year ago, remember we have this session? This is how many recruits as a team we have brought in because of your sharing. I really appreciate it. And your leader should be very blessed, to have a person like you in their team, in their organization, right? I really appreciate that. And shall we do a picture? Can I take a picture with all of you, with Rob?
Oh, I hope it doesn't break the camera.
No. All right, so you guys ready? Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you so much, Rob. Hey, Rob, are you going to Elite this Saturday?
I will be in Elite Saturday, yes.
Okay, I'll see you this Saturday at Elite.
Well, good. Yep. Come up. Look forward to seeing you guys. Are you going to be there too, Elvin?
Yes, of course.
Great. Well, good. Then we'll get together. We'll have a quick hi